Going to Rwanda now as a Nigerian is free. You don't need visa.
I think the travel option may not be too impractical for the average Nigerian. It was the Margaret Thatcher administration, which by 1986-87 introduced these visa strictures and making it difficult for people to travel.
Welcome to Noble TV Live, and today I have with me Gray Amona to share his thoughts on the issue of free visa for Africans willing to travel to either Kenya or Rwanda for now, because it is believed that this is what happens in other continents of the world. They freely allow their fellow continental people to enter any countries of their choice within the continent or their own continent. But here in Africa, we will discriminate. Even within a country like Nigeria, we will discriminate against people in other states apart from our own state. So let me find out from Gray Amona how he feels about this free visa for Africans traveling to either Kenya or Rwanda. So, Mr. Gray, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. It's great, to...
Thank you very much. So, yes, going to Rwanda now as a Nigerian is free. You don't need visa.
Yes.
And the same applies if you are going to Nairobi, Kenya. And this appears to be a new development, in Africa. And a lot of persons are saying, after all, that is what happens in other climes. When you are going to Canada now from America, you don't even need a visa. And the issue of a visa was the idea was given to Africans, to deprive us from having free movement with our brothers and sisters. So what's your take on this issue?
Well, it is a relative relaxation of immigration strictures, by modern Africa. When I say modern Africa, that is, within the nexus of African Union, I suppose it's a positive development, especially against the background of the fact that the colonial era, provided such restraints and created an artificial separation of kith and kin, African kith and kin, through such a colonial imposition. So I suppose it's a development that should gladden our hearts and remind us of so many things that actually did happen in the past, and also more importantly, significantly, within the Euro-American family, we don't require such strictures like immigration, restraints. So it is something that Kigali and Nairobi, dangled in the face of the rest of the African kith and kin, and which should be taken advantage of fundamentally, and more importantly, to also open a new chapter, in intra-African, bilateral relations. That yes, where Europe, America, and other areas that are fast catching up with the capitalist mode of production, are rather condescending towards Africans traveling over there. It is a different thing, traveling to Nairobi. You don't have to, join the queues, wait for a while, long hours at the embassy, but you're simply provided with that instant movement. Interestingly, to comrade, that was what Nigerians used to enjoy. Before, you used to travel from Lagos, and when you got to England, you don't need any kind of immigration harassment. You simply go to Croydon, and then it will be stamped. But it was the Margaret Thatcher administration, which by 1986-87 introduced these visa strictures and making it difficult for people to travel. So I think Kigali and Nairobi, Nigerians are travel hysteric. We like a lot of travel, especially this period that the economy is singing a different song, and with the gradual insurgence of the Japa culture, I think it's an opportunity to look elsewhere. Yes.
Okay, now you just made mention of the economic situation in Africa generally, particularly in Nigeria too.
Yes.
Giving a free visa to non-Nigerians to come into Nigeria, don't you think it will inflict more economic injuries on the already bleeding economy of Nigeria?
Well, the interesting thing about foreign policy postures of the modern African statehood, foreign policy postures of modern African statehood, there's a way, government can fall back to its own natural diplomatic wisdom in order to create an enabling platform to, liberalize immigration priorities and all that. Yes, the economy can be a kind of a restraint, but the most important thing in international relations, you find that relaxation of bilateral, relations is even more important in the long term than having to, sing the lamentation song about the economy.
Okay.
You find that when the gates are open or the borders are open, aviation, maritime, it will not only smoothen, the content of international relations and bilateral exchange, but along the line, make it possible for issues that relate to the economy, especially the health of our currency, to be improved in the long term. So I think the disadvantages, I don't think they outweigh the advantages.
Okay.
Yes.
So Rwanda now appears to be leading the pack, and of course, in the recent time now, we have been told that Rwanda is actually leading the pack now as far as the growing economies are concerned in Africa.
Yes.
So be that as it may, yes, the economy of Rwanda is growing, but given the kind of character we have in Africa, do you think Rwanda can contend with the kind of influx they may be experiencing from nations like Nigeria? Because if Rwanda, the economy is buoyant, and Nigerians now, because instead of you to now go to all this other, you have heard about Nigerians going through Mediterranean Sea to all these other countries. So if it's so easy to go to Rwanda, do you see Nigerians now as usual taking advantage of that to populate Rwanda and make Rwanda more of a Nigerian second state or nation?
In a present state of being entangled with socioeconomic headaches, I think the travel option may not be too impractical for the average Nigerian. The movement out need not be Euro-American in orientation. Within the African nexus, there's still a prospects. I know what you mean by the character of once there's an opportunity, Nigerians would like to swarm that kind of. It also connects with our uniqueness as a people. We are mobile, we are adventurous, despite the fact that leadership issues are a problem. So I think along the line, employment opportunities may be in the offing. Academics, culture, the professions, and all such areas of upward mobility.
Okay, thank you very much, Gray. And you are viewing the program. At the end of the day, don't just end up viewing, but like, share, make your comments also, even as you press the notification button. But you just have all that Gray said, that, opening up the countries for free visas for people to come in can, of course, lead to some other advantages like sharing of labor. If you lack labor in your country, you can expect to have the shortfalls filled by your neighboring countries. Like in the case of Rwanda now, maybe if Nigerians are ready to work there to fill the vacancies that exist there already, or if others see vacancies in Nigeria and they want to come to Nigeria to fill the vacancies instead of Nigeria struggling to travel to other continents. So we're ending the program now, hoping that at the end of the day, a lot of us and other persons who may not have had the opportunity to look at the program now, we learn from your own view that you are going to comment. Thank you very much for being there, because we will always be here.